Hey guys, this is my post-match review for the Arsenal 3 Wimbledon 0 game. As you probably already know, the game wasn't available to watch on TV. It seems like no broadcasters were streaming it. So the most we could do was watch it on Twitter through someone's live stream. So shout out to the guy who was filming the game the whole time. But it was very bitty anyway, and the quality was quite poor. So I didn't really get to watch the game very well, but I'll comment on what I saw. Anyway, starting off with the lineup, I think it was a bit of an uninspiring lineup, but for obvious reasons, we needed to rotate our players for the North London derby, and these rotation players coming in do have to get their minutes. It's a shame not to see a player like Charlie Patino, who's been getting a lot of talk recently, but he is still only 17, and this is his first season for the under-23s, so I don't think there's any need to rush him. And I know people speak about Wenger's quotes on if a player's good enough, they're old enough. But Wenger has also admitted he feels part responsible for Wilshere and Ramsey's careers ending early. So I don't feel like with these players, we don't need to rush Patino in. I think we can protect his development and ease him in, as Guardiola has with some of his players like Foden. I think he will get his chances, but we don't need to rush him just yet. And other than that, yeah, it was a pretty uninspiring lineup in that there was no creator on the pitch, but it was a good enough team to get the job done, as we've seen. Going into the game, Partey starting, that was another talking point, and it came out that Partey himself told Arteta he wanted to play, and that was a concern because had he got injured, it would have been a huge problem. But in the end, he played about 60 minutes. It helped his match fitness, and we got through it. And he played very well, apparently. So we go into our third game in a row without conceding. A pretty boring but controlled performance, and we took our foot off the gas a little bit at the end when Smith Rowe came on, Saka came on. We started bringing on the creative players. But a 3-0 controlled dominant win, you should always be happy with that. With no injuries for the North London derby either. And I think Nketiah deserves a special shout out for his goal because that was an excellent finish. There's not a lot to say onto it really because I didn't watch the game live. I can only comment from what I heard. But another thing worth mentioning is Saka played right wing today when he came on and was good again, and has always consistently been much better on the right than the left. So hopefully we can see him moving back over there in the league because he's really been struggling on the left recently, and it's hard to say whether this form is directly down to that, but he's definitely been worse at the start of this season than we've seen him in recent times. Going into the draw, we are facing Leeds at home in the week beginning on the 25th. I'm not sure which teams were playing on either side of that, but it's a respectable draw. It will be a good game, and one that we should still win. One that we should be winning. And if we get through that, we get into the quarterfinals, and we've got a decent chance of getting a trophy. So happy with that. Happy to see United go out. Watched a little bit of that game in the background. West Ham were pretty good today, so I'm glad they got that win. And it's a shame actually because Chelsea and Spurs were both looking at one point like they could go out, but both of them scraped it through on penalties. But if you want to win the competition, you have to beat the best teams anyway, so that's no problem. And yeah, as I say, there's not a lot to talk about. It's another win, it's another clean sheet. The spirit should be high going into the North London derby. Massive game. We've got to play our strongest team, and to be honest, with the way Spurs have been playing recently, they bottled a 2-0 win today, and I am confident we should be winning that game, especially at home. And I think if we do, our tails will be up and we can continue the form we're on. But yeah, it's a huge game, and I think for Arteta, this game will be the difference with the fan base, whether they're fully in support of him or if the fan base start to really turn on him, because if we lose, it's not going to be pretty. But yeah, on to the weekend, massive game. Let's see what happens.